Manish, and Amit and Urmila joins me from other side. And this is our 37th podcast, and this time we are going to discuss about being selfish, whether it's right or wrong. So we'll discuss and come to the conclusion, some type of conclusion from our discussion that and some takeaway that whether being selfish is good or bad. And let me start my view or a general view that in India, country like India, we hold belief that sacrificing uh, yourself, your energy, your time, and do whatever your finances, do something for others, uh, considered sacred and noble work, and that we hold from our traditions, and that is why it feels that whenever we become selfish, some moral compass comes into picture, and we feel that it's really not. Being selfish is not good, but I don't agree with this thing. You sacrifice for your religion, you sacrifice for your family, you sacrifice you for your country, and you die serving others, and that will be called as a noble and sacred. And it doesn't come to sacrificing your life only. When you sacrificing, when you are giving time, your precious time to others, that is also called a kind of sacrifice in today's era. It's not that you have to go and wage war and work in the army to protect the country and to become to die in the process, or may not die. But that I don't think is sacrifice. But nowadays, if you are giving time, you are giving time and energy to others, is also to certain extent is a sacrifice of your time and energy. So being selfish means I would like Urmila to give her view, being selfish or be selfish, whether it's good or bad, or what's her opinion, what's her take on this subject today.
Actually, when you first said be selfish, it resonated immediately. Probably because, it's the times now. Had you told me this years ago, then probably it would not have resonated at all. And I would have thought that you were toxic, because it's a quality that we've been taught is very negative. And right from the moral science lessons in school, where you were taught to be loving and caring and kind and compassionate and to be very unselfish, to do things for others, to think about others much more than you think about yourself, to give to others more. That is what we were taught in moral science all the time.
True.
And even the general trend is that Indian women, especially, they are supposed to sacrifice. They're supposed to sacrifice for their husbands, for their children, for their family, and everything. I don't know if I've really seen my mother sacrifice. Maybe it's gone unnoticed because I've had a very comfortable upbringing. It's been a very happy childhood. So maybe she had her fair share of sacrifices. I don't know. I couldn't see. I don't know if I have sacrificed anything from my children because they've also grown up comfortably, and I've never had to make any such big sacrifice for them. Only while rearing them, giving them time and giving them my energy, or not working, not having a career because I had to rear them. Those are probably, sacrifices that I have made because I've always wanted to work and I really couldn't because I was in a place like this, and also because, my children were growing up. But nowadays, if you say be selfish, it totally resonates because there is so much happening around us. There is so much of competition, there is so much of social media, and it is such an interactive society. Communication is so important. You have to do so much to arrive at somewhere, especially for those who want to achieve something, especially for those who are ambitious. So now I think when you say be selfish, it totally resonates with me because you have to develop yourself in today's competitive world. You have to develop yourself, you have to bring yourself up at par to a certain level in order to enjoy all that you're seeing in order to, make yourself a part of what you're seeing. That is, if you want to, of course. And for me, I want to be a part of everything that is going around. I want to be a part of the modern day world. And so I think being selfish is fine. You have to place yourself sometimes in front of other people's needs, because it is also only when you develop yourself first will you be able to give. And we all are very perceptive, so we know the limits of others, we know how to respect our rights, we know that the others have rights as well. There is a space around them, there is a space around us. So thinking of yourself first, putting yourself first, so that you can develop yourself as best as possible, and after that give to others without hurting them, of course, without hurting anyone in the process, I think it's just fine. So when Manish, you said be selfish, it just, automatically gelled with whatever I felt, because it didn't feel odd, or it didn't feel anything negative. It's all right to think about yourself, and I think we must. Otherwise, we're really not going to progress much in this world.
Yeah, that strikes a chord with me as well, Urmila. This selfishness has this negative connotation attached with it. So, and as you mentioned, being mother is synonymous to selfless. And the funny thing is, mothers are never given the credit for their sacrifices. And this selfishness, I'll give some personal examples how having a balance between selfless and selfish, what Urmila mentioned earlier, is very, very important uh, for the better mental health or physical health. For example, if a friends come and he invites you to his party over a week, after a hectic week over the weekend, and you say no, the friend will definitely think that you're selfish. But it's very important to take care of our mental health. Or if a friends come who has a history of not returning money and keeps asking you money, then you have to say no to avoid those financial or relational stress. These are some examples of being, you have to have that boundary where you can have a healthy relation with others as well as you can take care of yourself as well. Coming back to on a broader perspective, we see that in our economy, it is our selfish trait that um, has made the progress. So, for example, if a baker opens a shop early in the morning, it's not because he wants to serve people, it's because he wants to make money. And while doing so, while making profit, that baker provides employment and service to the society. So being selfish in a way is a good thing, but in our society nowadays we have this negative aspect attached to it. That's my 2 cents, Manish.
Yeah. Being selfish, generally we consider it as being mean. Being mean and being selfish. Being selfish means you are giving importance to yourself. You are giving priority to yourself, your needs, your desires, your wants. Unless it is met, you cannot give to others. That is not possible. It's like honey. When you distribute honey, it's born to fall over yourself. Unless it goes through it, unless sweets goes through it, you cannot make others happy unless you are happy. So selfish means you are giving priority to your health, mental, physical well-being, and then you can help. Unless that is
Yeah.
not there, but we think that being selfish connotes with being mean. Being means you are exploiting others for the benefit of yours. That's not the being selfish means. Being selfish means you are giving priority. You know what requires to re-energize yourself. Like every people has different uh, method or different things passionate for to they become energized by doing. Like some people are introverts or some kind of people who really get energized living alone, being alone. Sometimes when people are around, I am also like that. I need some me time for me to refresh and get energy, and that required. And if because of them, because of my family, because of society, if I don't have those time, and I even without wanting to do so, sometimes we all have to do in compulsion, in the because of family pressure, because society pressure. If we himself are not very happy, not happily doing anything, it's not like giving, it's like forcing things. So being selfish, for me, we have come to a stage when we realize though family is important, but unless you are healthy, how can you take care of others? It's not possible. Even you go and visit in hospital to any patient, unless you are really fit, and for fit you have to take care of yourself properly. You have to have proper diet, nutrition. You have to go to do sort of physical activities, and these things require time for yourself. And no, I have been brought up in such type of family where giving is was the sacred and noble. I always remember, whosoever comes, you have to attend them. You have to do whatever things guests are. That Atithi, one Sanskrit saying is that Atithi Parmo Dharma, some kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Atithi is a god. You have to treat them like a god. And why it has come? I was introspecting about the thing. Why being selfish is called nowadays evil kind of things? It's not evil. You're giving importance to yourself because you are you are embodying a soul that is a part of universal force. And if you are not taking care of soul, is a utmost sin for me, because that God is within us. For I am kind of a spiritual person also. I think in that way that you are one God is, one soul is inside of you, and your role is to protect. Your role is to do whatever to make that soul happy. And for making that soul happy, you have body is the temple. You have to maintain that body, physically, mentally, whatever way you feel really happy, or in the peak emotional state. So when I was retrospecting about that, why selfish is called as a, why it has become kind of evil, that it's a bad thing. I felt that in the initial prehistoric era, when we are hunter gatherer, we used to hang out together, used to feel protect. So unless you have, you also have to give something. You have to do something. They don't. They always expected from you that something you have to give. Otherwise, you may have to give your life to for the sake of other society. And that has always been there. Always been there. That if you, and that's why they nowadays also, if the army is died, we commemorate that things, that we give whatever form, highest form of award to that person. But when I'm no more the word. If I cease to exist, word is also cease to exist for me. So when I am not there, what to care for others? It's nothing. It's like totally kind of things made by the society for the society, because we are creatures of society. We have society has made us. Society has given us a name. So when we do something, it's called rebel. They will feel that this person has become rebel, and they will do whatever thing to. They uh, may stamp you like he has become abnormal. Some abnormality is happening. Why he is concentrating on himself only? It means some aberration. Something is there that they will feel that this person is different, and they will stamp you as maybe the mentally disorder kind of persons. If you really focus on, because of society has been made like that, they always wanted everything from you. If and I have seen and observed and that whoever had become successful, rich people, they are really selfish. They were really in our society. When you just look out for the person who are really at certain stage of their prosperity, you'll see that they were selfish. But when they come back to society, they give away, and then society thinks, no, he is doing something. But when they become totally secluded from the society, they will imprint that person as a kind of person who really does not gel with the person. They will think that, oh, this person has become like what we call it, very
Arrogant.
proudy, or maybe something egotist kind of
Yeah.
person. He doesn't want to help. Even donation thing, camp or everyone temple, every donation is there. So why these are all there? Because society has been, we have are making up of society, And that's why these things, we feel that we do whatever. If we don't do anything society, we feel that, oh, I'm doing really bad. It's not, it's like it's noble work. So that is how it came. So now things are changing. You don't have to really live in society. You can really live without society also, because everything, it's not like hunter gatherer times. You can really prosper alone also. So that is my view, that being selfish is absolutely best thing you do for yourself, and we all have to uh, become selfish. And then, of course, selfish doesn't mean that you become mean. You don't mean to others. You don't have to exploit others. You are just taking care of yourself. And if it feels that you are doing something bad, so it's really because of our conditioning. That's why it's feeling comes.
I'll chime in here
What do you?
and
What? Yeah.
I'll give one example. So we think that this arrogant thing you mentioned, Manish, about arrogancy. So when I have been in academia for a lot of time. So I see these top students, top researchers, and they seem like they're arrogant because they keep their time. They don't bond much. They use their time to study, to do research, and do whatever they feel like. But when you get close to them, they are the most ground. What do you call it? Ground to earth. I mean,
More grounded.
Yeah.
yeah, more grounded.
Ground to.
Yeah, they're so humble. They will talk to you nicely. They will explain things. So it's because they spend the time for their goals. It seems like they are selfish, but they are not. They're really helpful. And speaking of families, Manish, so for our career choices, if we go on and take choose career which we like. Suppose I like physics, but physicists never doesn't make, I mean, they do not make much money. So the family thinks this guy is selfish, and it's not a good thing to pursue yourself. But for my happiness, we can I chose physics. And coming to your third point, which was yeah, the how selfishness or selflessness came into existence. I It's my opinion. I believe it's a biological trait. So it's the altruism characteristic of humans, or it is also found in animals as well. So if one human dies, let's say there is this wild animal who's attacking this hunter gatherers group, and if a single person finds out first that there is this tigers and he makes noise, that guy will get killed, but others will prepare for the attack and they will be saved. I guess from there only this selflessness idea came out. That's my answer to how selflessness came into existence.
Actually, the connotation of the word has changed now. I think, everyone is into social media. The elders, the olders, the youngsters, the very young people, everyone is into social media. And in social media, you have a lot of all this that, you start thinking of yourself first, put yourself first, don't stay behind,
Yeah.
think of yourself the most and only then think of the others. So I think everyone will actually resonate with the term of being selfish. The word selfish still exists, and when you say, you're selfish, it means you're self obsessed to the point of thinking only of yourself at the expense of others. So when Manish says be selfish, I think what you mean and what we all mean is to think about ourselves, but not at the cost of someone else. You have to keep that balance right. As in, you're thinking about yourself, you're thinking of developing yourself to the fullest, and at the same time, you're helping others also. You're playing a sort of dual role. If you still think of the word selfish in the connotation in which it was thought before, it still means the same. Don't be selfish. Don't think only of yourself. Don't think so much about yourself to the exclusion that the other people around you are suffering. Don't be self obsessed. But that thing is still the same. There is a difference between being selfish and self obsessed. When you're selfish in the good sense, in the positive sense, you're thinking about your betterment, so that after that you can give to people around you, and you're also thinking about the space that other people have around you. So, in that term, I think when you say be selfish, it is fine. But if you're being selfish to the point of hurting other people, that other people around you are in agony because you're thinking so much about yourself and you're putting yourself so much in the front that you're not thinking about them, then that I think is harmful. And Amit, to your example of a baker who is opening up his bakery early in the morning, not only to serve people, but also he's thinking about himself. Of course, you are thinking about yourself. That is not called being selfish. You have to work, you have to earn, you have to think of the correct way in which your business is going to run. At the same time, you're thinking of yourself and you're also thinking of the people around you.
Yeah.
Maybe someone will come, early and want a loaf of bread. He'll want to buy biscuits for his tea. So you're helping yourself and you're helping others also. So there is a very fine line, in the middle when you say be selfish. When you talk about it in a negative sense, it is still incorrect. But when you're talking about it in the positive way, in another connotation, then it is wrong to say you're being selfish, because you have to think of yourself also, you have to think of others also. But I agree, Manish, that before it was used only in the negative sense, in the sense that sacrifice is the motto of everyone's life. That is what we have learned. Sacrifice your desires, sacrifice your wishes, sacrifice your energy, just to help people all around you. But that is no longer true. Now there is a positive as well as a negative aspect. The negative aspect is still there, but the positive aspect now is that please think of yourself also. Only then you can give to all the people around you. So it's just that the positive element has been brought in. It's not like the previous meaning has disappeared. The previous meaning is still there, but the connotation has changed slightly, and we're looking at another aspect of it because of the times we live in.
So
Yeah.
we have less time and we'll straight move away to takeaways. So yeah, so Urmila, what you're saying is like we have to be at the center of a three-way road where one road demarcates the line between selfishness and self-obsession, while the other road, am I making sense? Other road
Yes,
demarcates between self selfish and helping others. Am I right? Is that what
yes.
you speak? Yeah. So that's my key takeaway. Manish, your key takeaway?
My key takeaway is that I have been conditioned to think that selfishness is a sin. You have to help others, you have to give out, and that condition because of religion, mostly as a religious practices. I clearly remember whenever guest comes, I used to do everything for that person, and that person just goes like that, and I keep start serving. Uh, and when I think about that, what those uh, really helped me anyway. I don't know. I may have become timid kind of guy because of doing every time you do for others, you sacrifice your bed for others, you sacrifice your food for others, you sacrifice your happiness, your playtime for our guests. That really still bothering me
Upsets you.
that we should not give time. And then, of course, if you have to give time, give and take time kind of relation should be there. If you feel that if we are talking here, exchanging our discussions, if it doesn't help a particular person, then I don't think it's the kind of now time is that we should grow together.
Yeah.
Earlier, it was not like that. There was some priest, there was head of the family who used to think that I am earning member or the religious tribe, the head of the head priest. They think that I am the supreme person. And they, all person are that helpers to me. They will go and worship that pujari kind of. Then that is how God was made. Then when we got some civilization, that pujari or whoever priest thought that the people are knowledgeable, they might come to me and ask lots of questions. I may not be able to answer that question. Then they made a God which has all the answers. It means that God is like that. God is given this. So this is really a very we are really living in the delusioned life. We feel everything is illusion for me if it is not logic. God, either it is God, even family. Why family has been? Somehow it's because of selfishness of the persons involved. Till we are not mature, we are dependent. That we all agree that for all being that is equally applicable. That till a certain age, the office skills are being taken care of by the parents. But what happens after that? You go to developed country, you'll see that when the office skills become, when the kids become a certain age, they if they stay with their parents, it's embarrassing for them to stay. But India, because we are like that, we are most of the us are selfish. Parents think that after a certain age, when I become old age, the kids should be there to take care of me. That's because of okay, it's our culture, but what happens when we are not able to take care of them? Why they feel that they should take care of them? They should be physically fit. They should like America. What happens? But it's like condition. Society has been made that no, I have done for you lots of the sacrifices in when you were growing up. Now it's time for you. My fathers also, my parents, not my parents, but I feel that when I become old, you have to take care of. It's all like to expect. But what if that kids doesn't come to your expectations? We start implanting lots of things that kids are not doing good. They are really bad people. It's not like that. That kids may become selfish and then they become rich. Unless you concentrate on yourself, you cannot become rich. That is for sure. I have seen lots of people not getting to their potential because of they are so involved in their family, society, and then their uh, daily chores, and then helping their parents, sick relatives. All the time they are into them. Then lots of great potential in them, but they cannot because of the moral compass is there. They feel that if I won't take care of them, then people will feel that I'm lacking behind my responsibility. And that is what keep bothering me, whether it's really a moral thing only, or whether it's really required to sacrifice your everything, unless and it not only affect you, it will definitely going to affect your generation. If you are not rich, if you are not prosperous, your kids will also suffer. They will not go to the greatest school, and then ultimately it's a vicious cycle. And then you will remain poor, middle class kind of person. So if you want to become upper middle class, you want to become really a 1% of population, you'll have to become selfless. That is the crux of whatever I believe in this.
Those
Actually, what you're saying is that different cultures are different. You know, different people in different parts of the world have different modes of living and they have different types of thinking. So in some, say in America, there if the children don't leave homes by the time they're 18, it's embarrassing. But in India, it's different. I don't think it's really a matter of selfishness and unselfishness. It's just that the cultures are different and the thinking is different. But what my takeaway from this would be that do not be selfish in the negative way. Be selfish in the positive way, as in think about yourself, because when you're developed to your full potential, then you can spread love, care, teaching, and inspiration all around you. But don't be self obsessed. That is another aspect. If you're self obsessed, then you know you're thinking so much about yourself and only about your image, only about your qualities, only about your needs and wants, then you're not going to be able to help people around you. So there is a very thin line of difference between self obsession, selfishness, unselfishness, everything. You just have to use your perception as to, where you will put yourself first and where you will take a slight back seat so that others around you can flourish. That would be my takeaway from
I
this.
love how Urmila puts it in a sentence. Like, first, develop yourself, and then you can provide love, care to others. And with that, we'll stop today's podcast and we'll meet in our next podcast, which will be tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Till
We'll
then,
talk about
yeah, till then, take care. Bye. Hasta la vista.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.